Some things are built to last. Tested by the elements, proven by time, engineered for whatever comes next. Summertown Metals. Strength in every storm. Building dreams that last.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather at noon.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Taylor Plott here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Let's go ahead and take a look at your forecast. Start off with our Arctic Air Skycam Network. Lawrenceburg checking in right now. It's cool, 53 degrees here in Lawrenceburg. Dew point at 32, but notice crystal clear skies. Hardly a cloud in the sky. That will change, though, once we get into the evening hours, and especially going into tomorrow, because we're going to be dealing with some rainfall, maybe even some snow. I'll break that down here very shortly. Quick trip down to Florence. Take a look at the Tennessee River, 54 degrees down there in Florence. Dew point at 29 degrees. Also not really seeing hardly, if any, clouds in the sky right now. And that lake looks crystal clear right now. Take a look at the radar satellite composite, kind of backing things out. There is cloud cover off to our northwest and north. That will continue to slowly filter in across the area. Also got some clouds moving in from the southwest. That's ahead of our next system. Like I said, moving in tomorrow, that'll bring us some rain and yes, maybe even some snowflakes. Temperatures right now, not too bad. 54 degrees in Fayetteville and Huntsville, 55 in Athens and Decatur, 54 in Moulton, 57 in Columbia, 58 degrees over there in Hohenwald in the Lewis County area. This afternoon, mostly sunny, if not completely sunny skies until we get to the evening. Like I said, clouds will start to build back in. Temperatures will be getting up into the middle and upper 50s today, maybe close to 60 in some lucky spots. So a warm day out there. 56 for a high in Ardmore, 58 in Athens, 59 in Decatur, also 59 in the Shoals, 61 over there in Savannah. Going into your evening forecast, no need for that rain gear tonight. Temperatures will be dropping down into the lower 40s by 10 p.m. and eventually down into the middle and upper 30s, so not as cold as what we've had the past couple of nights. 36 overnight tonight in Fayetteville, 38 in Huntsville, 36 down there in Hartselle and Falkville, 38 in the Shoals, and 37 degrees overnight in Conlinwood. Going into tomorrow, our temperatures will go back down, but that's due to the clouds and rain moving on through. Only expecting high temperatures in the upper 40s and lower 50s for your Wednesday. Now, taking a look at your rain chances over the next several days, our best chance is going to end up being tomorrow. And then, yes, we are still watching Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday, but right now things are trending dry. I would say if there is a day that we actually see some precipitation, it might end up being on Friday, but there is a lot of disagreement going on in the model guidance. But I can tell you with pretty good confidence right now, I don't really anticipate a huge system coming in over the weekend. We're not expecting any snowstorm or really any snow at that. Yeah, there could be a few flurries, but right now things are trending relatively dry for the weekend. Let's get into what happens tomorrow. This afternoon, though, all it could be seen is just some clear skies, maybe some clouds brushing the area. That changes into tomorrow morning. Clouds will increase by 6 p.m. here. This is the HER model that I'm showing you. We'll probably end up seeing some rain begin to move on in for your morning commute. That batch moves on in. Notice our temperatures, we're all in the 40s to close to 50 degrees right now. The cold front, according to the HER model, is back here towards the northwest at 11 a.m. Watch what happens as we progress in time going into the afternoon hours. Here's the front moving on through. Notice behind the front, there's still a decent amount of some rainfall and some precipitation. So as this moves on through, cold air will plunge in from the north, and it will start at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and that's where we'll start to see that changeover occur because the temperatures above our heads will start to get below freezing, even though our temperatures here at the surface are still in the middle 30s. So one thing we'll watch to see how this changeover occurs, this is just one model's idea, but from our perspective, it does kind of make a little bit of some sense depending on how things progress. This is something that is definitely on the table. It's not unrealistic as it looks right now. So this is something we'll keep a close eye on because by 4 p.m., notice you get a little bit of those blues showing up in the model guidance here. That's going to show that there's going to be a changeover occurring with that rain going into snow. This is where things are we're going to have to watch things carefully because while we don't anticipate huge impacts from the system. We're not expecting inches upon inches of snow. We're not expecting ice that's going to cause a lot of issues. We're not expecting major issues. There's one caveat, though, that is something we'll keep a close eye on just depending on how things progress with this system. If this were to verify here, which I think it's definitely within the realm of possibility, there could be a brief period of some moderate to heavy snowfall moving into the area. Now, it's not going to be lasting for like 3, 4, 5 hours. No, we're only talking about maybe 30 minutes, an hour max with some of this moving on through if it ends up getting rather heavy at times. If it does, the snowfall rates could end up being greater than the melting rates, and yes, you could end up getting some brief minor accumulation on the grass, outdoor objects, and maybe even on some of the roadways. So there could be a very small window of opportunity. We're only talking about 30 minutes, maybe an hour max, where yeah, there could end up being maybe some minor slick spots on the roadways. Not talking about anything that's going to be absolutely shut down or not going to be stranded on the road for hours on end, because once this moves on out, snowfall ends, well, then the melting is going to take over and then everything melts off the roadway. So that's something we'll keep a close eye on tomorrow. If that were to happen, yeah, there could be a brief moment where there could be some slick spots that develop, but once the snow stops, all that will melt and you're just dealing with some water on the roadways and they're just wet. So by 8 p.m., notice how all that quickly moves on out. Yeah, it could happen during your evening commute, so that's something we'll keep a close eye on as well. Behind that system, going into the late evening and overnight hours, we're going to be drying out, maybe some flurries here and there, and temperatures will be dropping down to the 20s. Then our next focus is going to end up being on Thursday morning, where there could still be some moisture on the roadway that will freeze. You could have some patchy black ice to deal with on your Thursday morning commute, so keep that in mind. But all in all, for Wednesday into Thursday, we're not expecting major issues. We're not expecting major road closures or anything like that. There could only be a very brief period, depending on how the snow and changeover happens. If the snow comes down heavy enough for a brief period, yeah, you can get a quick little dusting, a little bit of accumulation on the roadways that cause a little bit of some slick spots, but that is it. We're not talking about anything that's absolutely major. We'll keep a close eye on it, like I mentioned, so once we get into tomorrow, we'll probably end up having a better idea on how that will probably play out. I will tell you, going into the daytime on Thursday, we're dry and the sun will start to come out as well. Temperatures will be cold, though, only getting down into the lower 30s or up into the lower 30s, so just barely above freezing for your Thursday. And then we get up into the 40s on Friday, but notice those low temperatures are all the way down into the 20s, even low 20s once we get into the weekend. So even though we're not really expecting a huge system moving in on the weekend, yeah, there could be some flurries possible on Saturday. The big story, I think, is just going to end up being the cold weather coming on in, with highs only in the 30s on Sunday and lows down into the teens and lower 20s. So yeah, that's going to be some pretty cold temperatures moving back on in. That's your latest forecast here from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Fred Gossage will be in at 5 p.m. and he'll have another full check on your forecast. Until then, hope everybody has a fantastic Tuesday afternoon.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.